Hi, I'm Neil Sackmary.
Hi, I'm State Trooper Sean Hagstrom with the Nevada State Police Highway Patrol Division, PEIO. Please stay tuned for the next episode of Trooper Talk.
And together, we can make a difference. Here we are live at the 360 Vegas studios with this edition of Trooper Talk. We have Trooper Hagstrom, and I would like you to please introduce yourself, as you are a very important guest that we've been trying to get on, and we're very excited to have you. Please tell us who you are.
Thank you for having me. First off, my name is Patrick Halligan. I'm a sergeant with the Investigation Division down here in Las Vegas.
Like Trooper May and Sergeant Abate and Trooper Felix, who are your brothers who have passed on just recently. Does this give you extra motivation and things like that to find these type of people that are out there doing bad and things of this nature? How do you feel about that?
Well, absolutely, yeah, and it's sad and tragic anytime that anybody is killed, but certainly it hits a little closer to home when it's one of our own. And we worked alongside, like our division worked alongside Metro when they did the investigation for those, and it's more difficult, but yeah, it makes it, you want to go do these things all that much more, because it does hit a little bit closer, but you also want the best for the outcome, right? As best as we can get suspects in custody, or again, justice for families of victims and things like that.
Yeah. I got some more pictures.
Oh.
Trooper Hagstrom is he, believe me, you know what I'm saying? Look at this.
Yep.
This is, I saw this picture, and this is like totally preposterous to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We hung out at the promotion ceremony, right, with Sergeant Donaldson.
Absolutely.
Right? And he was the trooper back then. And he came in here and he talked, and he could have talked for the next 6 years. You know what I'm saying?
And he's famous on TV.
Famous on
famous.
TV.
Yeah.
He's famous
People love him.
from Washington, where he's from. The customer, the customer's daughter is the chief of police up in Washington, where he's from. And she saw him on the Trooper Talk and said, "Oh, this trooper was on there." And they go, "He's a legend." You know what I'm saying?
He is good.
And so the thing is that, we got to hang out with him for just a moment, right? And we've talked to Trooper Slater, and we've talked to a whole bunch of these troopers that go out there every single day, and certainly every single night on the graveyard, right?
Sure.
And what's cool is that not only the supervisory positions, but the regular troopers, which Trooper Donaldson was just a regular trooper at that time, but he was always trying to motivate everyone to do the DUI arrests and all these type of things, because it really was ingrained in his passion to do that. I see this, and I just can't even possibly imagine this.
Yeah, and he's a great mentor. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why he's a sergeant, and
Yeah.
I'm so glad that he got promoted, because even on his shift, we talked about this when he took over as a sergeant. He moved the DUIs up like 14%, but he was one of those guys that mentored his people and was very passionate, like you said, and he does a phenomenal job. And he's always, that's the good thing about Nevada State Police, is our supervisors are with us if we need any questions or we need their assistance. They're working alongside us, and they're always there to help. One thing about this was our New Year's Eve statewide DUI enforcement. And for the DUI arrests, we had 49 DUI arrests across the state, but 36 of those were here in Clark County. So our troopers down here have got 36 of those. And you can see there was over 1,300 traffic stops, 999 citations. The other arrests were either criminal or traffic. So we added that in too, because they had 10 additional arrests from that. But overall, I mean, that was good for one night across the state. But we can, we're always trying to bring those numbers down. No matter how much we talk about it, Neil, all the time, we still have impaired drivers out there, and we always tell them the consequences, and we give them all the information, what not to do, and we're still having issues.
we talk about going to jail every once in a while here, right?
Okay.
You know, when we have the different troopers here, and I'm like, so you know, how long does it take to get to jail? And they're like, yeah, you know, the person's in there for 12 hours, and then oh, by the way, open your mouth to somebody and be obnoxious. Oh, they're gonna put you in a room, and then they're gonna wait until you calm down, and then maybe they're gonna come back in a certain amount of hours, and and then after that, then they're gonna stick you in a cage with all these people until you get processed, and then after you get processed, and it's like, you know, so they have a show here. It's called Jail. That it's not been updated in like many years, but they still had the older episodes, right, where they have, you know, they show a person who's sitting there and they're trying to get somebody on the phone or their bail's bond. They're like, you know, my bail is $50,000 and I need to, you know, how do I get out of here? And you're thinking like, you know, you just, you know, you killed somebody, or you just like, you know, you did these things, and so that's why you're in there. And so when we talk about the jail, right, that it's not a fun place, it's not anywhere that somebody wants to go, that this DUI arrest, I mean, those people are handcuffed. I bite my fingernails, and it kills me, like when I have a little piece of skin, right? So I can only imagine, like, I've tried to put my hands behind my back and I last like 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a piece of skin that bothers me. But these are real things, and these are consequences that people need to have, because these type of people go out and they can kill someone or kill themselves. And so these are the activities that we need to stop. And although you do the investigations, part of the investigations is coming from, you know, maybe this other arrest where a person had drugs or whatever, and these type of things, right?
Yeah, and that's, again, some of those things directly related to either DUI or highway patrol incidents is the accidents, right? If there's hit and runs that either, you know, cause death and substantial bodily harm, they don't have the time to go trying to find those drivers. So if they make it out, right, they'll usually or often call us, where we can devote time to go back and start looking at pieces and doing interviews, whatever it takes to find those drivers and hold them responsible for that, either, you know, the death or the crash itself. So whether it gets a DUI, you know, maybe not, but we can add the additional stuff of, you know, leaving the scene and causing this horrific crash, you know.
So we had Lieutenant White on. When was it? Maybe a few months ago. Maybe 4 months ago. When, and again, not getting into specifics, but when there was a certain hit and run that happened here in Las Vegas, and that they found, he came on and he said, look, I can't get into specifics, but I just want to tell you that the Department of Investigations, that we had a body shop and we had this, and people made phone calls. And so part of what helps from your behalf is the general public that sees something that doesn't make sense or something like this, and they're able to contact, which is one of the things that he said was really cool. And again, not getting into specifics, but, you know, that your division opens themselves up when someone calls up and they go, you know, this doesn't make sense. And you go, okay, well, I'm going to take a look at this.
Right, and that's, I'm sure your tip line is filled with voicemails and stuff. Yeah, anytime there's an incident, and if you put out a release or you don't, right, but some people may think that it's either not important or not relevant, but if you had seen something related to a crash, yeah, certainly it's a huge help later on, even though you may think it's, you know, minimal. But if you saw either, you know, a car or a driver, or you got a view of something or a picture of a license plate, like all those things will play pieces probably later on during an investigation, if there is one that's required. So yeah, the public's help in anything that they see that's out of the ordinary, or if they just see, you know, a crash that happens, yeah, certainly phone call, tip lines, things like that, where
any assistance requested, we put that out, and you know, it's helped us resolve some of these hit and run crashes. That's how
Right,
we
you're
resolve
right.
it.
No, that's what I'm saying,
And
right.
I put that
100%.
information out. We'll put the vehicle out, like the make, the year, and all this stuff. And a Good Samaritan will call us up. I've had people at my office send me videos of the prior crashes because a lot of people have cameras going, which is very smart here in Vegas because all the crashes that we have every day. But they show me the actual videos before it actually happens, the crashes ahead of time, because they had that, and they'll send it to us, and then I send it to the investigators, and they're able to review it. Amazing. And you know what, that helps the investigation so much because now they have all the key components that add up to that investigation, and it works out perfect for them.
Yeah, and it's very important because, you know, you're out there and you're risking your life, you know, every time you put on your badge and all that type of stuff. But, you know, from the public standpoint, you know, to know that there's somebody that can make, you know, that can take a phone call in a situation like that, you know, that like, you know, I saw this or whatever, especially when it is that, you know, sometimes that you've put things out on the X or whatever, and you say, you know, we're looking for this, or does anybody see this? It doesn't happen all the time, but you know that that's part of an investigation, that somebody's trying to figure it out. And so it's really great, and then, you know, to be able to have the general public's help in that.
Yeah, I think out of 9 investigations, we were at 100%.
Yeah.
Getting arrested for our hit and runs, whether it was just a mirror on the roadway, or you know the paint or the description of the car. Sometimes if there's cameras in the area, they're able to pull the cameras, footage, investigate from that. So every little bit helps to solve these investigations. And we always tell the public, if you see something, say something. Always, you're not bothering us by just sending us something, whether we can use it or not. We'll take that information because it might be the next lead for his investigation.
Yeah, and I'll add to the crashes and stuff, because what's going crazy right now, it seems like, is the road rage incidents.
Yes, I want to
guys
hear
are through the roof on them. Yeah, there's crazy drivers out there all the time, right? And I don't know, people are engaged with them, and they'll exchange words or gestures or whatever, and then all of a sudden somebody's shooting at somebody else over, cutting them off, or a quick stop or something, and then. Yeah, a lot of times they go maybe unreported. A lot of times maybe they just brandish a firearm or something. But certainly, any of the public comments that he gets, where this car is driving crazy, zipping in and out of traffic, or passing on the shoulder, a lot of times those come back to the same person that ended up doing this, a day later or 2 days later or something. So.
In one day, I even talked to the press. Oh, not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Sorry. In one day, I had I was driving home from work. And on the radio, we had 2 separate calls, one in Henderson and the other area, and they're 2 separate related calls because they're on other ends of Las Vegas, of people brandishing weapons. And I want the public to know right now, just to show your weapon alone, brandishing, it is a misdemeanor, up to 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. If you point that weapon, now it goes to a gross misdemeanor. Doesn't mean you have to shoot or anything. You raise it up and point it. Now it's a gross misdemeanor. And now you're looking at even double the time, $2,000 fine and up to a year, 364 days in jail you could get for just brandishing and pointing. And then, of course, like you said, like shootings or whatever, then you're looking at a Class B felony, and then you're looking at 6 to 10 years in prison if you get convicted. But this is an issue that I always tell people, if you get in a road rage incident, back off. Don't even engage, because it's not even worth it. Call Star NHP 911, and then if you can, just take the next exit. If they follow you and it becomes a problem and they're not letting up, just make sure you get hold of that Star NHP 911. Just stay on the phone, and we'll try to get a trooper or an officer to you right away. And just continue driving. Don't park. Don't try to engage with that person, because that's just going to create more problems. And I always tell people, get that make and model, get the license plate if you can, and if they take off, just give us the last direction so we can try to find it.
Because you care.
Absolutely, that's what we're here for.
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's it. There's way too many, I think, even for us to handle, for Metro to handle. It's very. What's the word? I don't even know.
Well, I think our
there's just
society
so many.
has really
it's
changed
wild.
since after COVID. I mean, there's no respect for other people, no respect for law.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying for us in general, just law, like theft, everything. After COVID, it's really changed a lot of people nationwide. We're just not talking about Vegas. This is everywhere. And I hate to see that. I hope morality comes back where people are decent to people again and they want to help and assist people the way it used to be. That's the way I would love to see it.
Yeah, and I just look at it, that again, for this edition of the Trooper Talk, I want to get to the next picture.
Sure.
But again, one of the cool things is every time that somebody comes in, we do something different, right? And we talk about something different, and we've never talked the fact of, we might have touched on it, but the fact of someone that is in a road rage, which I'd never even thought of. Everybody gets mad. Oh, you're a jerk. You know what I mean? You don't know where you're driving, right? But what I'm saying is to actually think about the fact of taking a firearm and now going, you're a jerk. I mean, and so
It's not worth it.
the real premise, one of the premises that I want to get to right now is the fact of that if you're in the road rage, that yes, you need to just back off, just
off,
like you
don't-
said,
disengage.
back off, disengage, call, whatever.
Because that other
But-
person
but-
could have a weapon.
But
Yeah.
You know what I
but
mean?
I
People
never
don't
even-
understand that. They pull up a weapon thinking they're going to scare somebody. And what if that's not the person you're not going to scare that doesn't care and has the other weapon?
Yeah.
And now you just showed somebody a weapon that is a real bad
Oh,
criminal.
I never even thought about
Yeah,
that.
and then he ends up shooting you. Is that
Yeah,
really
that's-
worth your life or putting your family? What if you have your kids in the car? It's better just to back off, call us, get off the next exit.
I
Don't
never
don't
even thought of
engage
that.
in it.
You get in an argument with somebody, and then you go, listen, jerk, don't do this, and the guy goes, oh yeah, well I got one too.
Well, let's say you get out of your car all mad and you have a firearm with you, and the person's scared in the car, and you're starting to walk towards them, and he puts you down, shoots you. Think about it. I mean, that's how quick it can happen. It's not worth it.
It's not worth
Yeah,
it. And then
absolutely.
we have to call investigations, and then we have to go through this whole rigmarole where they could be doing other activities that are much more beneficial, which is getting these drugs off the street than dealing with road rage.
Absolutely.
So road rage is no good. Okay. Johnny, make sure you put that one on the thing.
So this is every year during December,
yeah.
we have the Christmas DUI tree. And let me tell you a little bit about this. When a trooper makes an arrest during December, they're able to put an ornament on the tree. We have, that's Captain William West. We've had Captain West on. And
Parole and probation.
yeah,
When he was there, yeah.
So he's hanging one of those up, one of the ornaments. But just in December, our Southern Command troopers, this is just for the South in Las Vegas, we had 182 DUI arrests just for the month of December that our troopers did down here in Las Vegas. So and
What do
we
you
do
do with
this
that tree
Christmas
after?
tree every year.
What do you do with it after?
Well, Lieutenant White just called me, and they're getting ready to take it down. We
What do you
didn't know
mean?
if we'd do some more press releases or anything on that.
They
but-
take the things off?
What's that? Yeah. We'll have it for next year. The ornaments, and then they'll be able to reuse and put their names on when they make an arrest.
Really?
Every time they make an arrest, they'll put an ornament on the tree, and before you know it, the whole tree just gets full of ornaments from the DUI. We'd like to have a treeless ornament. No ornaments on the tree,
Right,
be
right.
treeless. If we could do it, that would be a miracle. But that's way too many. 182 DUIs in December just here in Vegas.
And that's just
that's
highway
just with
patrol.
that's just highway patrol here in Vegas.
So when I see this, it makes me so angry that it makes me so beyond angry, because I know that people are losing their lives. I know that there are good people that are not going to have someone home for the family dinner.
Yep.
And these type of activities, and that it's so easy to take a drink, or as because you see it on a much grander scale, about people doing illicit drugs and these type of things, that someone who isn't in that environment, it's hard to perceptualize, 150 pounds of meth or something like this, like, but people need to understand that that these activities have life-ending consequences, and that when you're out there and you're doing all these type of investigations, that you're protecting the community, because there are very bad, not only bad people, but there are very bad things out there, and one of them is people doing DUI and getting behind the wheel, and so it's just horrific, and it makes me so mad. I just because I travel these roadways just like you, just like everyone. By the way, you have a take-home car?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
No lights,
It's unmarked, but I do have lights.
just in the thing, right?
Mine are all the way around, yeah. So we
Oh.
have to have kind of all the sides of the vehicle if they're being used. So they're
Okay.
discreet, but they're present.
But they blow past you at 100 miles an hour and they don't care.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I was telling Trooper Hagstrom this Sunday when I went for my drive. I left my house and I got on the freeway, and there was this black BMW, that when I'm traveling, that blew past me at like 130 miles an hour, right? And I Trooper Hagstrom's always like, listen, if you see something like that, just like you said, you got to get on Star NHB, because maybe we're looking for that black BMW that just robbed somebody from down the road, and maybe you just saw him. And I go, and just this, boom. And so I didn't know what to do, and then like maybe half a mile up on the right hand side there was a state trooper there, and he pulled him over.
Good.
And you know what I told him? That's karma.
Karma, that's perfect.
Karma. Yeah.
And so, but the thing is that who knows what they were doing,
Right. Yeah.
And that's the problem with, when troopers make traffic stops, or any officer in the valley, you don't know what had just happened. You don't know. When you go up to that car, you don't know what you're dealing with. And it could be an array of things. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it could be just somebody speeding, or like you said, could be somebody who just committed a crime and they're thinking, hey, I'm not going to go back to jail, or what, you know what I mean? You don't know what you're going to deal with, and that's just part of the job that we have to deal with when we make these traffic stops. And then going back to DUI, what a selfless act. And I can understand why you're so upset,
Yeah.
because now you're putting all these lives in danger for what?
For
You
what?
know,
I just
you know what I
don't
mean? We always talk about
understand
the
it.
rides and everything that you can get, but
I'm almost
It's
tempted to
totally-
put a phone number there and say, if you need a ride, call me. I'll figure out how to get you a ride for free. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
That's true, though.
it's a selfless act.
it is a selfless act.
I just it's so much, and so I don't know. Just it really makes me angry, and we could be doing so many other things, the troopers and all that type of stuff, but we get 182 DUI arrests in 30 days.
Yep, 30 days.
What did Sergeant Donaldson? What did he get? Like 232.
229 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, last year.
Last
and that
year.
was just one trooper. So
One
that's
trooper.
amazing. And we're going to have another. I hope they took the photo already before they were taking the tree down. But we did take the top 3 DUI troopers, not only for down here but for New Year's and all that, all combined, and put them a picture of them together. So I just don't have that with us today.
Okay,
But
so
yeah, but they did phenomenal job. I mean, we're talking like 26 to 30 DUIs each one. You know what I mean? For the month. So we
It's
got
just-
some good troopers out
it's
there.
just too
working.
much. I mean,
Yeah.
it's too much.
It's
and-
way too
and-
much.
And these people need to just drive on the road in a normal. You know what I'm saying?
Or stay
we have
home.
enough
Just
problems
stay
with,
home.
peop-
Yeah,
with
stay.
people with people that put the fake license plates and stuff like this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Oh. You know what this means? That means you get a sigh of relief. You can go,
I made it.
I made it. I finished. I said it in the beginning, and I reiterate to the fact that Trooper Hagstrom and I, and all the viewers, we really appreciate the fact that you take the time. We've had Many people come on from your division, and they're always so gracious, and they, tell us things and all that type of stuff. And to be able to have you come on here and just sit with us and just kind of share, it really means a lot. And again, we really learned a lot, and so this is what's important. Nobody wants to hurt somebody and or be hurt, and so to be able to think about the road rage, with a firearm, which we talked about that a couple times, but just to reiterate that, and then from the investigation part, I think that's really cool. And
I think he's got an awesome job.
I think that it's really cool that you're able to do these things and really make a difference, because finding people that are doing these type of activities is not only not helping us as a city and a state, but it's really ruining things. And so we're thankful for that.
Well, we certainly appreciate it, and I, as the supervisor here, I can't take any of the credit because I just kind of help facilitate my folks doing what they do. So it's really the troopers and my detectives that are doing the work. I kind of just sit in the background.
You still put your
facilitate
time in.
that.
He
You
sounds
still
like
do the work. Very humble.
Right.
Not
I
just
get
like
it.
Sergeant Clifton, he says the same thing.
Yeah,
You know what
very,
I'm
very
saying?
humble.
Right.
It's all them.
But
yeah,
I do want to give a shout out to our public that's listening, and we love you watching Trooper Talk. But if you ever thought about working in law enforcement and would love to be a part of our team, go to NevadaStatePolice.com. We also have administrative jobs that come up. And if you always want to be law enforcement but didn't want to be a law enforcement officer but want to be part of it, we're always hiring in dispatch too.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of check us out, NevadaStatePolice.com. We're always looking for Nevada's finest, working for the great state of Nevada here, either to be a trooper, parole and probation officer, or you can go into something fantastic like investigations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got different routes everywhere, State Fire Marshal, Capitol Police. So please check us out, and if you're interested, just we'll be more than happy to talk to you about it.
Yeah, love it. Final thoughts?
No, again, I appreciate you inviting me on and giving me the opportunity. We haven't had, I guess, much interaction with the media before, so no, thank you.
Yeah,
No,
no,
thank you.
it's
Absolutely
very
appreciate
good.
it.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for coming. You did fantastic. I really appreciate it. All right, last and final thing. We're going to look at this camera right here. See, it was only an hour and 12 minutes. You did good.
Yeah.
All right, we're just going to wave. We're going to say see you later. Bye-bye.
See you later.